Plantation Coach Tour is another visitor favorite. Guests ride in an open-air coach on a 30 to 40-minute tour of the entire plantation. Trams leave on a regular basis, weather permitting, from right is known as Boone Hall Farms. You'll hear more about Boone Hall Farms during some of your tours. We'd like to invite you to visit Boone Hall Farms Market while in the area. What makes Boone Hall Farms Market unique is that it's both a farmer's market and part specialty store. I guess you would say it's a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. The market features fresh produce grown right here on our farm in season, as well as local seafood straight from the docks, prime cut meats, a flower and gift shop.
Oh, it's awesome, man. Great choice, man. You made the right move. Absolutely. Trying to beat up this bomb.
More Wednesday work, though. We just gotta remember to stop the certain way.
I ain't committing to that.
We gotta get that. We gotta get that.
Shower if you have a second.
We gotta get that.
And they're leaving. Here to our right is Mayor Joe Riley's Waterfront Park. This is a great place to enjoy an afternoon. Underneath the sheds on the pier, they have swinging benches. At the beginning of the pier, large open fountain has been voted the friendliest city in the country for over 20 consecutive years now. That's a great job. Pilots start out making $25,000 or $250,000 a year. By the time they are retiring, they're upwards of $750,000. They only work a week on, a week off, so 6 months out of the year for that salary. That's a very hard job to get here, though. It's controlled by about 8 families. They're either born into it or marry into it. Good luck on marriage, because most of those are still arranged. Operate 365 days a year, no matter what the weather is, unless Coast Guard shuts the port down for a major hurricane. prestigious Carolina Yacht Club. That's the oldest yacht club in South Carolina. That was established in 1883. There's a 25-year waiting list to join this yacht club. As we pass the yacht club, you'll notice a seawall that starts up and some grand homes built along it. This is known as Battery Road. These homes were built by plantation owners, merchants, and ship's captains. One thing they all have in common architecturally that is unique to the area are their porches, piazzas, or verandas. Those are all built along the side of those homes. That's so they can enjoy the sea breeze is reliable. It only starts up between 9 and 11 o'clock in the morning and will blow 15 to 25 knots through the evening hours. That was really the earliest form of air conditioning. They built the porches, windows, and doors along the side of their homes to help keep them cool. You can tell which of those homes were built by captains. Some of those porches wrap around to the front, or they have so their wife could sit up there with an unobstructed view of the harbor, watch for their husband's safe return, or call the insurance man. The canopy of live oak trees past those homes is White Point Gardens. I got the name White Point as the Native Americans just built. The downtown area. He managed the colony's affairs for the first couple of decades. In April 1670, a group of colonists and 2 ships year-old young lady by the name of Eliza Lucas. She grew indigo on James Island. When indigo is processed, it's the most significant crop grown in the area. That was brought here from Africa. Now, 40 to 60% of all the Africans brought to this country for the slave trade were brought in through Charleston Harbor, over 400,000. The majority came from places like Sierra Leone, which is on the west coast of Africa. At that time, that was the rice coast. So with them, they brought rice and their knowledge of the cultivation. With their knowledge, hard work, and labor, that rice thrived in the area. It made the plantation owners here wealthy enough they called it Carolina. placard there for the cannon staff that fired the first shots. That's now home to the College of Charleston, Bryce Marine Laboratories, the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, the SCDNR, and also NOAA, National Oceanic Atmosphere Administration. You can go get yourself a snack. You might be thirsty, hungry. Might turn into one of those 3-hour tours out here. As we pass Fort Johnson, follow their tree line straight back. In just a moment, you're going to see a lighthouse sticking up about 3 miles away. Right about now, you can start seeing that up front. It's the Morris Island Lighthouse. There's been a navigational aid or a lighthouse on this location since 1673. This is the 4th lighthouse to be on that location. Built in 1876, it is 161 feet tall, but it is no longer in use. When they built this lighthouse, they did it 1/4 mile inland on Morris Island. Today, it sits almost a half a mile offshore. That's because of the jetties. The jetties were put in place to align and protect the shipping channel into Charleston. They changed the current patterns along our coast. Those are eroding the outer barrier islands. If any of y'all have seen the movie Glory or read the story of the Massachusetts 54th Regiment, Morris Island is where that battle took place at Battery Wagner. If you have not, you should, because that is an amazing story.
Yeah. You see that bus? Yeah. How hard? This is
Light color squares at the base of the fort, some of the original cannon ports that were bricked in. The black structure in the center was built in 1899 in response to the Spanish-American War. They placed 2 12-inch guns here at that time. And in World War II, the fort was modified. They placed several anti-aircraft down here for the defense of the coastline. It became a national monument in 1948. If you look up at the flagpole, about 1/3 of the way up, we had the Tall Ship Festival here this past weekend. Got one of the remaining few leaving ahead of us here. That's the one that y'all saw at the Maritime Center. They got the sails up. Off to the right, 4,200 miles. Absolutely nothing till you get to the coast of Africa.